Hi, Paradox Fossils. I'm Aphrodite Rose Starfire. Welcome to my channel. We are drinking today Signature Select Seltzer Water, raspberry flavored. Did you know Aphros means foamy bubbles for Aphrodite? The foam rises to the top and melds the two realms of water and air. And then she crawls up on land like evolution. Walks on water, Aphrodite. Hi guys! Hi Shannon222, what's up? I just got notified of my own live stream. Woo! The algorithms are in your favor. Let the algorithms always be in your favor. So I'm at the beach right now, wearing my purple fringe bikini and my ears. They're pearls. I'm gonna clutch my pearls. Shannon says, I'm new to your channel. Where are you located, sweetie? I am in Northwest Texas near Lubbock. Oh, awesome. Shannon, you're from Genevieve's channel, right? Thanks for joining. Awesome, near Texas. I am right now in Santa Barbara, California. I am, if you guys don't know, my name is Aphrodite Rose Starfire, and I just moved into my bread truck van permanently. Yes, van life. So I also have a second channel called Aphrodite's Van Life, where I post all of my van life related content and my build on the vehicle. See right there, that's the ocean. That's Santa Barbara. Yeah. Chilling out in the van. Ooh! Sneak peek. But to see more of my van, please check out Aphrodite's Van Life. But yes, thanks for joining. I wanted to get into the subject of the video. Got some doggy action. I don't know if you guys saw the video of the big, huge rainbow sun dog that was right here. Like a big portal. I had a real life audience there for a second. Okay. So the title of this video is Don't Pray. It makes you a victim. Love, reciprocity, and energy packets. And I have been thinking about this video for a long time. Sorry if I don't make eye contact with the camera here. You know, like, I don't know for you guys content creators, but you construct videos in your head. It's usually while I'm asleep, like I'm laying in bed. But you can, like, perfectly organize it. And I'm not one to, like, do actual physical outlines anymore. But I know some people like to actually write out notes for their videos. But I like to do it, like, free form. But to do that, I kind of have to look off into space. I did date a neuro-linguistic programmer right before my awakening process, and he told, and I was simultaneously learning about like evaluating brain cognitive function in medical school. And depending on where you look while you're talking, you're actually registering different parts. You're actually accessing different parts of your brain. So like when you look straight up, you're like accessing your like direct memory. I don't know. It's like each direction has a meaning of like where you're referencing the information from. But anyways, so like I know I talk a lot about Lauren Pritchard. This is a little bit of almost like a direct response to her, because it seems like she watches my videos, because ever since I posted the video of where's her cat, all of her thumbnails is her holding her cat. So, showing her proof of life. So thank you, Lauren. I don't think I actually have seen Jerry live while she was talking. I've just seen the photos. But granted, I also haven't watched her live streams like all together from start to finish. I just kind of pop in here and there. But she's doing so much praying to the Holy Spirit, praying to Lord Jesus Christ, praying to Lord God, asking for protection. And I know a lot of people, like in the awakened community, spiritual community, whatever, they pray, or they ask for prayers, or they tell people to pray. But I don't. I really don't like praying. I've never liked praying. It like inherently goes against my natural tendencies. And it like goes with the words, right? To pray, like a bird of prey. You know, the prey and the predator. And I've always noticed that you know, double entendre, if you may, about prey. But it's kind of like, who's the predator when you're praying, and who are you the prey when you pray? And what I think it boils down to, and I've kind of talked about this before, but it's asking for help outside of yourself. It's asking for assistance, even if it's just for good thoughts. I think there's a difference. Let me also say this. I think there's a difference between praying and thinking thoughts. Like, I'm constantly thinking good thoughts about people, like hoping, you know, things get better for people, hoping things get better. Like, I'll think about people getting better. I'll wish for great, you know, like, those are different than actually praying to Archangel Michael, or praying to Jesus Christ, or praying to the Lord. When you vocalize and ask for assistance from an outside entity, with that intention of asking for help from an outside entity, they will help you. But as above, so below. The nature of this realm, it has to do with reciprocity. It has to do with going to a level of homeostasis, and it has to do with indebtedness, about debt and payment. Okay, and this has to do, this also is congruent with the entities above us, say in heaven, even demons. It's the same thing. Angels. I don't think the Lord is God. I think God is you. I think you are Christ when you realize this. I think an outside entity calling itself Lord is like a landlord. That's somebody that is requiring payment, requiring homage, requiring worship, but most of all, payment. And the best way to describe this is kind of like energy packets. And I like to think about it a lot with like a relationship with another person, like a romantic relationship. It's like, I think it was originally described in Oprah, and then a lot of people have held on to it, but it's like your love tank. I know I watched Real Housewives of, Orange County, and Vicki Gunvalson. She would always talk about her love tank being empty. But I think like our main purpose here, it depends on the soul. But if you're on like the path of enlightenment or the path of remembrance, part of that is finding a mate, a companion, being able to be in a relationship with a significant other. I think that you learn the most about yourself when you have that sounding board to reflect off of, because you can educate yourself all you want in the solitude of your own home and read all the books and think that you talk right, because you've read all this stuff, you've watched all the videos, but then you go into a room of people and you realize, wow, I don't talk right, I don't understand social cues, people don't want to talk to me, or people are awkward around me. So like, you don't really learn that about yourself or learn about how other people observe you or how you project yourself until you really experiment with interactions with people. And that ultimate interaction is with a lover that you're sharing a life with, right? And so I think most people listening have had some kind of significant relationship like that. And I'd say everybody does it subliminally, both men and women, but women for the most part do it actually consciously. And it's it's the tally. And I tried to characterize it with this like energy packet metaphor. But say you have like 10 energy packets per day, and you have a job, so you give like 3 energy, so like you give 3 energy packets at work, you give 3 energy packets to your boyfriend when you get home from work, like being interested in his day and maybe cooking for him and doing your laundry. And then you have 1 energy packet for yourself, you're taking a bath, whatever. And then so that's what, 7. And then you have like 3 energy packets for your family, okay, like your mom, your dad, your brothers or sisters, dealing with their problems, consoling them, being involved in their life or whatever. Say that's like your homeostasis set, right? And then maybe your boyfriend's grandmother needs, or your boyfriend's mother needs to be put into a home or needs help or something. And now now it went from you're spending 3 energy packets at work, 5 energy packets on your boyfriend, 1 energy packet on your family, and like, it goes where you're spending way more time devoting energy to your significant other. Say that goes for a few days, and your boyfriend, when you come home, is like playing video games or is not giving you the same amount of the change of the energy back to you, you start to feel depleted. And you're like, hey, wait a minute. I'm like putting in all this energy for you, and you spend all of your energy packets on, you spend like 7 energy packets on yourself, 3 energy packets on your family, and you're giving me like 0.5 energy packet. Like, I just like doubled my energy packets for you for the last week, and you've decreased your energy packets for me. So what I'm saying is, there has to be this like conscious awareness of the reciprocity between the partners, of a give and a take. Men usually are not very conscious of this. Women usually are very conscious of this, and they almost take it as like a tally. Like, hey, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Like, they'll keep a running tally of how much time and effort, how many times they went to your events, how many times you didn't go to their events, how many times they're kissing you, initiating things with you, but you're not initiating things with them. There's like a count going. And at some point, if there's like a breaking point, right, where it's like, wait a minute, I'm investing way more energy packets into this than I'm getting back. And now I'm like depleted. Now I'm like in debt. And then like the relationship has to change. Like, that's a big problem. Good relationships, there's an awareness of this exchange, and there's communication of when, like, hey, like, I feel like I've done a lot of things for you today. Like, are you gonna, like, can you do something for me today? Like, there's like an open communication between the partners. There's not like, the same thing is with the above and the below. If you're constantly asking for help from angels, from a Lord, from God, something outside of yourself, they're expecting payment back. They're expecting to they're investing in you, and they're expecting to get their payments back. This is the Lord. This is the landlord mentality. So if you're like constantly praying, constantly asking for help, asking for protection, I think this entity will be the one, whenever you die or cross realms or whatever, that's being like, okay, looks like we got 72 rescues, we got 110 save the days, we got 1,000 I hate my bosses, please make their day worse too, and okay, so how are you going to pay me back? Now some people might say, oh, well, I pay back with my worship, I pay back with my gratitude, but I don't think people are really as religious. Maybe like the people that are going to, like, the hardcore Catholics and in Mexico, that are going every day, or I even see them around here in Santa Barbara. They go to mass every day. They go to their saint and ask, and they're worshiping. Maybe that is sufficient enough as payment for the assistance that the entity is giving you. But I just find it a slippery slope. You always see like the deals with the devil, like in The Stand, like he goes to the guy in jail, the devil, and he's like, I'll get you out of jail, but then you gotta work for me. Like, it's never a freebie. There's never a freebie. That's like that's like Lady Gaga So I want your love and I just want it to be free. Like, I'll just take it. I'll take anything if it's free. Nothing's free. Like, there's no benevolent entity that just has an endless reserve of energy to give you, and it's not going to expect anything back. That's why I don't pray. I do think it's different to wish. I do think it's different to say, I want this to happen. I want, like, say, I want my mom to get healthy. I wish for, the world to get better. Those things are different. That's like empowering yourself. That's like owning your voice. But to ask for, oh, please, Lord, protect me. That's like cha-ching, cha-ching. And at some point, just like in a relationship, the entity is going to be like, hey, wait a minute. I've been giving and giving and giving, and you haven't been giving me anything back. Now we got to, like, tally up. Like, either we got to sever this relationship or, like, things got to change. So, maybe that's when people have dramatic, like, events happen in their life and they get things taken away from them. I don't know. But it's like, I do see this, like, it's like and it goes back to the wording. You're like purposely making yourself a victim. By praying, you're becoming the prey. Why? Because you're asking for help. You're saying, I need help. I'm a victim. I can't do it on my own. Can you do it for me? Can you give me energy? Can you give me your energy? Because I can't do it. That's praying. That's different than saying, I really wish, or I really want, or all I want is this to happen. I usually don't vocalize things, but I am constantly thinking about, hoping for things to get better. But I'm never, like, passing it off onto some entity and hoping that they do it. They do it for me. I just find it strange. It's like this, I don't know if it's like this patriarchal scapegoat, like daddy issues. You need a daddy to do it for you. This is like the Don, the D-O-N, the Father, like, oh, Heavenly Father, like, why are you a grown person crawling out for your daddy? Like, I don't know. Maybe these people that are praying, they feel like they are giving payment to whatever entity that they're praying to. But I don't think that entity thinks that the payment the person's giving is the payment that it really wants. I think this is tied to the historical judgment day. When you're, and it's actually like put into physicality in the Catholic Church, like where you're supposed to confess, and then to get the sin erased, you have to do X, Y, and Z. You have to make a payment. You have to make a payment with prayer by saying different things a certain amount of times. So these are all payments to entities for them forgiving your bad deeds. But it's all energy packets too, that you're not investing in yourself. You're outwardly investing it. You're doing this bank exchange with this outside entity that's probably like charging you interest, right? Like, and the terms aren't clear. There's vague terms. You don't know, like the small writing is like, you can't read the language. So it's like, why wouldn't you just invest in yourself? Why do you need the middleman? I don't really understand that. So I guess this is like kind of like an anti-Lauren Pritchard video in a way. Dispelling her prayer message. Because she's constantly praying. But I did pray the only time I did pray was when I was a kid. When my parents split up, my dad started having us say grace. When I was at my dad's house, we started saying grace over dinner. And it was like, God is good, God is great, let us thank him for our food. By his hands we all are fed, give us, Lord, our daily bread. And then we'd say, bless mom, bless dad, bless our brothers and sisters and cousins. And then we'd say, like, bless all the poor people who don't have any food. And then you'd say, amen. Which has its a whole other meaning when you say that. But yeah, I'm sure that did a whole lot of power, having these like angelic children chanting this little prayer every day. But we weren't even asking for, anything. Well, we were saying, bless, please bless. And we were thanking him. So, but I've never, even as a child, been on my knees at bedtime, pray. Even like doing like namaste to people, like that feels weird to me. I like hugging people and stuff, but like asking, praying, like actually like the act of addressing another entity and communicating with it, it just feels all types of wrong, like deep down. So yeah, so I say like, if you're in this community and you kind of feel the way I do, like, don't say like thoughts and prayers, like send your prayers, like just say like send your thoughts. Like I think it's way more powerful just to think it and to say like, to type it, or to say like, I wish the best for you, or I want you to get better, or I know you're gonna get through this, than to like call on an entity to do it for you. I had this video way more eloquently prepared in my head, but that's the gist. Oh, and also I wanted to say that, I know I've said this in other videos, but I am like so overdue in responding to like bajillion people. Please don't take it personally. I'm an equal opportunity hermit, and I've been ignoring everybody. So it's no offense. I'm doing it to everybody. Please don't hate me. I'm trying to like eke back in. I have to like go through waves of, I guess it's the energy packet thing, but I have to go through waves of how much participation I do in the social media, and I like to consume a lot of social media, but it can be exhausting for me to respond to comments, even if they're all like really good comments and like good energy. It's just, maybe it's like holding my phone, because when I do hold my phone for too long, like this thumb especially will start to, I can feel like electrical discharges, I can feel like weird, and it's not even like a numbness and tingling. It's like a it's like a low voltage electric shock. It's like a dull shock. It's like a dull, and it will go in my fingertips. I'll have to put my phone down. So yeah, let me see your comments. Hi, Third Eye Spy. Shannon says, I was born in Texarkana, but I'm working in the beautiful desert. Cool. Paradox Puzzle says, got to give the little hamster in our heads different inclines. Interesting. Spinning the wheel. Yes. When wish or daydream, it's like praying. Yeah, I do think it's like praying when you're wishing or you're daydreaming. But I think the difference is when you pray, you're like actually asking, like, for assistance. You're usually like naming or like Lord or asking Christ or something like that, or asking God. Shannon says, I'm the predator when I pray. Hee hee. Do not reach out, reach within. Very, okay, cool. Hi, Josh, Penn. Shannon says, thank you for this confirmation. So deep thing. Thank you. Hi, Sheena, let the sun shine. Sound like Neville Goddard teaching. Oh, really? I've heard of the name. I can't picture the face right now of Neville Goddard. I'm thinking of Neil deGrasse Tyson. I know that's not the right person. Shannon says, no lords except in the bedroom. Whoop, whoop. I like Neville. Okay. Third Eye Spy says, praying can deplete one's own inner strength. As praying, you inherently are relying on outer source to provide that strength. Yes. Hi, Virginia dear. She says, I have to rely on outside sources for strength. I've got very little. I rely on food at the very least. Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you're like in a relationship, you have to be getting the same amount that you're giving. Like, otherwise your love tank gets depleted, right? In a really, really good relationship, they're constantly like spontaneously complimenting each other, like filling up each other's love tank spontaneously, so that there's never like a deficit, you know, like the anticipation of the other's needs. That's like the height of the dance, right? Is that you know the other person so well that you can anticipate what they need or what they want or what they're going to need. Just like in a beautiful waltz, right? Or, you know, the one person takes a step back while the other person takes a step forward. You're not doing the exact thing, but you're doing opposite things in congruence that make it like an enhanced body. The E motion, the energy packets are the same as E packets, like E motion, the energy in motion. Shannon says, I light a candle and ask nature for striking strength. Virginia says, I gave most of my energy away today. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sending you some energy, Virginia. Hi, Shanif Nick of the Great White North. I don't know what brought me here, but I have nothing left, completely depleted. Physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I'm empty. Well, thank you for showing up, Shanif Nick of the Great White North. It seems like you're following the correct intuition. I say if you feel depleted, go outside and take off your shoes and stand in some nature and try to look at something and see beauty in it. And then do something fun and eat something that makes you really happy. Thanks, guys. Oh, you're saying very nice comments. Shannon said, I put on my suit of armor every day and my helmet is a tiara, LOL, and I am very strong and I have learned to step into my power and I don't look outside myself any longer. That's awesome. I love Ascension. Shanifnik says, Lord equals lowered. Sorry, I started over the stream at 2 times and pray is pray to the Lord. Very interesting. Might you have a high functioning autism? I do. I don't think so. I think a lot of the autism nowadays is misdiagnosed. I think if, you know, a parent goes seeking for a diagnosis, they'll get one. And, you know, some health practitioners are, or health systems, I'd say, healthcare systems are eager for business. So if they make a diagnosis early and can give you treatment, they have a customer, right? You know, you have to go in for therapy, and that, you know, is paid by insurance, and they get payments from that, and it employs people. You know, it's a whole system. So I think there are a lot more autistic people, but I think there's way more of it being diagnosed as well, misdiagnosed. The same thing with, like, you know, ADHD and ADD and that kind of thing. So I think if you just think outside of the box, that doesn't make you autistic. I think it makes you're supposed to, like, have multiple ways of learning. Like they used to teach, like, are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Are you a kinetic learner? Are you a tactile learner? I don't really know if they do that anymore, because now it's like everything's just visual, like through the screen, and it's not really tactile. Like the tactile used to be like actually writing the words, and then they got rid of cursive and all that. So yeah, I just be careful, like, labeling yourself with, like, diagnoses of mental illness. Not to say that you should be ashamed of anything, but you know, you never know what might come back to bite you. Like, somebody might deny you access to something because they said, oh, well, 4 years ago you said that you have autism, or 4 years ago you said that you were bipolar, and looks like here that never goes away in my diagnosis book, so you probably still have that, so you can't go here, you can't own this. So I don't think anybody should be ashamed of having any type of challenges, but there's, like, so many ways of learning and thinking, and I don't think it necessarily is the best way is like saying you have a mental illness, or like a high functioning mental illness. But everybody's different. I mean, a lot of people do have high functioning autism, but I mean, the people that I've actually met with, like, Asperger's, like, they're very apparently socially awkward, and I think a lot of people, like, loosely throw it around, like high functioning autism or like Asperger's, and they really don't have it. They're just, like, socially awkward. They just didn't learn social skills, or they learned, you know, they had bad teachers in school, or, you know, what have you. But yeah, it's like real mental illness is, like, debilitating. Like, it's like you can't have a normal life kind of thing. but it's nothing to be ashamed of. I just do know that if you are very vocal about it, it can come to bite you if you try to do things that need special privileges in the future. Hi Luxor says, you don't think we were created? If we're created, do you not think the Creator, Most High Source, Sophia, whatever would want is to communicate with them? What if we're not wanting things but wisdom? I don't think we were really created. I think that we've always existed. It's just we've gone into different forms. I mean, at some sense, we're all like from one stock, right? We're all like, in some sense, everything has to be coming from some central point. But I think we used to have like lifelines, like actual cords that were like, there was like a silver cord and a golden cord and a red cord, that we could actually consciously use and utilize. If there are other entities outside of yourself, I really just think they're different versions of yourself. So like some people call them like your higher self, or yourself in the future, or your past self, or yourself in a parallel timeline. But as far as like Sophia, I mean, like even myself, I actually believe to be the incarnation of Aphrodite. Now, am I actually asking for help from Aphrodite? Am I praying to Aphrodite and asking for protection from Aphrodite? No, because I believe I'm Aphrodite. Like, I believe I'm the incarnation of Aphrodite, and I believe I am Christ, but I believe that in a different sense of what people like to categorize it in. Like, I believe Christ is like the knowing of your divinity, right? Like the coronation, the rose, the rising up out of the lower realms of cognition. But I do think that if you are asking for assistance from a named entity like Sophia, that is like an egregore. That is a spiritual entity that has a tally. Like, I feel like if maybe you are praying to an entity and you're having second thoughts about it, and maybe like ask the entity to like hey, like I want to like settle things up between us. Like, I don't want to ask anything more from you. I feel like I've given you enough worship. Thank you for everything you've done for me, but now I'm going to take over from here. The guidance stuff, I mean, I just don't know why can't you ask yourself? Like, can you tap into yourself in the future? Can you like think about yourself in the future and ask your future self what to do? Shanifnik says, I learn no longer pray. I also get the opposite. It's like I'm a punching bag or something. Wondering if the guy downstairs might help at this point. Sword 009 says, I pray, but I demand it as if I'd already have it. Thoughts are the basis. But sometimes it can be useful to overwrite them with words. Yeah, but it's different saying like, this will happen. I will get the job. I will have a boyfriend in 2 months. Like, those are different than asking like, please Lord Jesus, give me a boyfriend in 2 months. You see, like, thanks Luxor, says cool ears. Shanifnik says, I used to pray for peace, just peace, and it never comes, so I give up. I pray for peace and get chaos. I'm actually scared to even talk to God at all. I must have done something messed up in a past life. Well, just talk to yourself. Like, ask yourself for guidance. I don't like saying piece because it's like piece of the pie, like a piece of the puzzle. Like, piece actually means you're like taking, you're severing off a chunk. So it's like piece really doesn't mean coming together, it means separation, like cutting up a pie. So I'm like thinking, people, I pray for world peace. I think of like a chunk of like the world coming off, like a pie, like the UN map, you know, like world peace, and then like a slice comes out. Hi, DQuest. Pray but realize we're supposed to be giving. Drop the gimmies when talking to God, but never stop. Tinfoil Hatter. Hello. Oh, dang, Doc. Quit looking so damn hot. Thanks. Hi, Sean. I learned years ago that snipers communicate with others through prayer. Oh, see? Yeah. And there is something with this, you know, Project Bluebeam and different frequency waves. There are like egregores that are like corporations, and they have the name God on it, and they have the name Lord on it, and they have the name Jesus Christ on it, and they have the name you know, Saint Guadalupe, and they have the name Archangel Michael, and they have the name Krishna. You know, there are like entities, and so when you name that entity and you ask for it, even if it is God, that's going somewhere. And I don't think it's your internal, I mean, I guess you know, the human will and intention is more powerful than anything. But I'm just saying that the system that's here is the system that's there. And right now it's all indebtedness, banking, punishment, reward. It's as above, so below. It's not like they just got endless resources up there and they're just giving when you ask. You got more intuition in yourself just asking or pondering different scenarios of the future, running through things that might happen in good ways is way more powerful than asking for an entity to do it for you. How are you experiencing the thinning of the veil? Well, like, I just posted that that live stream of R. Wayne Steiger, and it was like I could feel it happen before it already happened. I click into his live stream right as he's like talking about the Satanic Bible. he talks about, he's like, I don't know what to think of it. It's like, people, you bring up the Satanic Bible, and he has it in his hand, physical Satanic Bible. He shows it to the camera. He's like, everybody should read a copy of the Satanic Bible. Like, you should know your enemy. He's like, people scoff and say that they would never ever read something like this. But how could you be against it if you never read it? Blah, blah, blah. He holds it up and he kind of thumbs through the Satanic Bible. And then he proceeds to speak about, and then I type like, some people are not meant to experience everything. Then he starts talking about logos. And then I'm like, logic doesn't have emotion. And then I'm like, but people need emotions. And then he has this like weird flip-flop way of like, well, I looked everywhere. And then he says the Greek Bible, he mentions Greek. And then he's like, I looked everywhere, there's no existence of a God of love. I know in Christianity, nothing, nowhere, it just doesn't exist. I looked here, far, there's no God of love. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then he acknowledges me, Aphrodite, so like, that's like goddess of love. He says my name, Aphrodite Rose Starfire, welcome. And then I'm like, I'm like, shut up, Wayne, you're lying. And then he sees that, he's like, well, that's rude. So it's this magic spell, right? That he denies the existence of a God of love, and then he blocks me, goddess of love, right there, in the same breath. So I go back to record it, right? To repost it and make a video. And I'm trying to go back and find the part where he holds up the Satanic Bible. I can't find it. It doesn't exist. By the time I make my video, I go back to YouTube. His live stream has already ended. It's posted, but it's, the kind where they post it without the chat, because like the chat takes usually 24 hours to go up. So I'm like rewinding his video. There's a part that he had already edited out. That's just a blank spot, but it's not very long. So I'm like, that must be the spot where he blocks me. But it's like not in the same order. So I'm like going back and I'm trying to find like this spot where he holds up the Satanic Bible. And I'm like, I thought it was like I was 10 minutes into his live stream, but it's like it doesn't exist. It's like it never happened. Like there's no part where he holds up a black Satanic Bible and thumbs through it. So I'm like, I immediately knew that it was some weird spell meant for me. He is a self-professed warlock. I think he is a lobbyist for the Satanic Church. He was a lobbyist in Washington, D.C., and he claims to have grown up in the same town as me. So there's like some weird, like he knows way more about me than he claims to know. But yeah, so it doesn't exist. Like it immediately was like, it was like I was witnessing a different timeline of his live stream. And it's surrounding the Satanic Bible. So if you like, that's an example of the veil thinning around me recently. Also, like I'm gonna make a video about it, but about Hearst Castle. I'm getting major downloads about the Westworld cloning centers and the history of California. And then that was like immediately verified when I went home and watched the Lady Gaga music video that was filmed at Hearst Castle. It's about a cloning center, and it's like I didn't know that before I went, and I was like, I knew exactly where the clones were, and it's like where the clones are in her music video. And I was like, I think I have it on video. I'm like, that's where the clones are, down there. But yeah, I get major spidey senses on stuff. Hi, Susan. I see your comments. Thank you so much. I love you, girl. Sorry, I'm like all way back. Chocolate bacon. Susan says, as it were, so to speak, if you will. Word salad. Oh. Yeah, I keep on seeing these obscene things that celebrities are doing. And like the entertainment news just reports on it. Like it's like kooky. Like Drew Barrymore was eating pizza salad. And she's just like, I'm eating pizza salad. She's like, I put the salad on the pizza and then I eat it. Pizza salad. And I was like, that's all very coded for, I don't know if you know what tossing salad is and what a slice of pizza means, but it's just like way out there. And then on the news, they were running this story about like adopting children, and both the little children had t-shirts with little pizza slices all over it. I'm like, really? Like, really? Luxor says, I think there is an individual most high that formed our consciousness. I think that we're outside of where we have higher selves that are observing multiple versions of ourselves right now. So we have like a higher self. This is kind of like, you know, some people like the avatar, kind of thing. But, you know, like the ships. But there's like multiple versions of us running here, and we're watching ourselves like a simultaneous movie, but with multiple screens. So that's like the entity you can communicate with that will give you the most information. But it's you. It's you outside of time. And then you chose to come down here to experience it. But time is a motherfucker, you know, like you like, oh, but if I chose to come down here, I would have had a fail safe. I would know, like, I would know when to get out, or I wouldn't be like this. I wouldn't have parasites and all this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, time is different. Like, maybe, you know, a second up there is like a lifetime down here, you know, like, maybe, it's easy to put, like, you know, does an ant, you know, an insect ant have the same emotions as a human, right? As an ant thinking about what it's going to have for dinner, and, oh, like, I just pissed off my friend. Is she going to like me tomorrow? Like, is an ant having those? You can't put, like, a human's emotions onto an ant. And the same way you can't put what an ant thinks about onto a human. The same thing, you can't say, like, oh, me outside of time, I would never have decided to come down here where I would experience pain and suffering. You probably don't think like that outside of time and outside of whatever. You're like, I want experience. I want to feel the dirt. I want to feel the pleasure. I want to feel the salt. I want to feel the acid. I want to feel it all. I want to feel the time. I want it to feel like it takes forever. I want to feel like it's too fast. You know, like, it's all, like, valuable. But you can't say that you think the same way, or that God or whatever, your angels, think the same way that you do. Like the same way, like, the same thing you could say, like, you at 8 years old, did you think the same thoughts that you do now? Like, I mean, I kind of did, but Why is your face so spotty? Because I'm shedding my skin. Like a snake. And I am actually growing horns on my head, Luxor. If you want to make like a NBC News documentary bulletin about it, I'd be all for it. But yeah, I got bumps on my head. That's what I thought that shaving my head would help with, but it has in a way. Like if you look at old pictures of when my hair was long and blonde, my temples were way more tight. But people don't know, like, part of the aging process is like your hair like gets tucked like a woven basket, and we just tend to just brush the ends, right? But we don't actually get to like separating the hairs from at the base, and then they develop like this basket weave, and like as you get older, like it's like tighter and tighter and tighter. Anyway, so I work on that, but it has to do with the wheel, right? Your cowlick. These are all very symbolic too. And I think it has to do with my awakening process, the shedding of the skin. You know, we were lent the skin, like Satan lent the skin to us so we could roam the earth, right? Like this is all new learnings from Mind Forward, but it's like the sandal, it's the snake skin. So we have to shed that skin to be able to, you know, graduate the land of good and evil, the land of duality. Because we've become wise as snakes. You have to shed the skin, and that's part of the coronation, as part of the crown chakra opening. But yeah, I think you should examine your scalp, feel the dents in your head, work on the dents in your scalp and your head. Try to see if you can actually grab the hair from its base, not pull it out, but like, can you get to the part of the hair where it's connected to your scalp, or is it like matted? If it's matted and dented, you can actually like work that scalp like out, like massage the dent out and release the hairs, and that's part of like a stimulation. It's brings blood flow to the area. But it's like this like death cap, right? Like when our hairs and years of using alcohol-based shampoos and conditioners, I don't know, like I see it as kind of like this chemical cap of death, that it's like a cobweb that needs to be slowly released, and as that's released, it releases wrinkles and pores on my skin, and then sometimes the like little nanofibers will come out. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. Alright, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks all. Please like, share, subscribe. Check out Aphrodite's Van Life. I also have a Patreon channel. I will link it in the description. I have lots of other content. Deleted Lucid Living TV and Lord Pritchard. Lots of deleted videos. Exclusive content. Love you all. Thank you for joining me.